I'll still be shining bright forever. This little light will always be. This little light of mine,
Sing it with us, y'all.
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
'Cause I've got the light,
This little light of
the
mine,
light inside.
I'm gonna let it shine.
This little light,
This little light of mine,
still burning bright.
I'm gonna let it shine.
With all I've
This
been
little
through,
light of mine,
the light still shines
I'm gonna
through.
let it shine.
This
Let
little
it shine, let it shine,
of
let
mine
it
inside.
shine. Amazing grace,
Amazing grace,
how sweet the
how
sound
sweet the sound
that saved souls
that saved a soul
like me.
like me.
Well, I once was
Oh,
lost,
I was lost.
now I'm found.
Now I'm found.
I once was blind, but now I see. Yeah, the light inside, this little light, burning bright. With all I've been through, the light still shines true. This little light of mine inside.
Good morning, everyone. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. I don't care how much darkness there is in the world, how much turmoil there's going on, how much confusion. I'm going to know the truth about myself, and I'm going to let the Spirit within me shine out for all those who have eyes to see and ears to hear that life is good, God is good. We're here to experience love and joy, happiness, prosperity, and health, and nothing's going to hold me back. So if you're here this morning, I want you to know you're going to leave here in some significant and powerful way, healed, blessed, and prospered. You're going to leave here knowing that you've got the power of goodness with you and for you, and you're making the world a better place just by being in it. So thank you, Sam and Lucy, for that great song. Yeah, don't you love those guys? Wouldn't it be nice to have them back on a regular basis, huh? I've told them, some of the people, I said, let's make them an offer they can't refuse. Yeah. Anything below kneecapping, I'm all right with, yeah. Just don't hit Sam's face. No, we don't want that. It's lovely having you back, guys. Wow, that was, where am I? This is Reverend Ken Wilcox. I'm so happy you're here this morning. Now, if you're joining us online, I'm glad you're doing that, but let me tell you, you can't match the energy of this center. So just as soon as you can, you get back here so you can hear some really great music and you can feel all the love, all the joy, all the prosperity and health that's in this room, because it will make a difference in your life. You know, all life asks and all it requires is the opportunity to appear. You're that opportunity, and so am I. It's the purpose of our teaching to keep us reminded of this essential truth in our lives. And to help this truth show up in our lives in a greater, more powerful and dynamic way, I ask you to do one simple thing each Sunday morning. And that is to leave all your troubles, your fears, your would-haves, your could-haves, your should-haves, all the news reports, all the CNN stuff, leave all that stuff outside. And for the next 45 minutes or so, to open up an avenue of spirit possibilities in your life. And what are spirit possibilities? They're for more love, more joy, more health, more prosperity, more laughter, more fun, more great music, all those things that make us feel alive, because that's what Spirit is doing through you, through me, showing up in the physical, recognizing itself through our love, joy, and laughter. So know you're in a great place this morning, and Spirit is going to recognize and reward you abundantly. All right, Sam and Lucy, I know you got some great music for us, so let's see what you have.
All right.
Don't disappoint me now.
You know, I just want to say thank y'all so much. I can really feel the love and the joy that's in this room. And thank you, Ken, and thanks for having us.
So just receive this song kind of to start us off. We have sung it with our choir. So if you know it, please sing along or just hum along if you don't know the words but you know the melody. And let yourself open to receive all the magic that is in this space. Being, breathing,
I release into divine light. Being, breathing, I am open, I am love. Being, breathing, I release into divine light. Being, breathing, I am open, I am love. I am alive. I am alive. I am divine and one with all. Being, breathing, I release into divine light. Being, breathing, I am open, I am love. I am open, I am love.
Thank you, guys. Well, just a couple of announcements before we get going. We have our class on prosperity after the talk today. That starts at 11:45, I think. So the talk is on prosperity. So if you really want to drill down and get some prosperous thinking going, stick around for the class, and it's going to be really very impactful and powerful, and they've got some really great exercises. Last week, I made a little joke about my massage therapist. I called her a Nazi with cocoa butter. She's really not. She's a lovely person, and she's really helped me get back to my best health. And I was talking to her this past week, and I mentioned that, and she said, to encourage or to rehabilitate my reputation, I'll give any of your members who want to come a 20% discount if they mention you. So here's a card. I'll leave them up here. And I don't know. I mean, she may take out her frustrations about being called a Nazi with cocoa butter, but I think you'll really feel better about it, and that's a 20% discount. So take advantage of that. All right, Jim Saul, come on up and do a reading and treatment for us.
Good morning. Ernest Holmes can be a rather difficult teacher to read. If any of you have ever tried to read it, I have seen sentences that are a full page long. But the truth is, some of the wisdom that's in his writings is amazing. And one of the things he talks about a lot is being a practitioner. And there's two types of practitioners. There's a licensed practitioner, which is licensed with the the Centers for Spiritual Living, which takes about 3.5 years or so of study to become. But he also talks about everyone being a practitioner. And I would actually go a little bit further even. I would say that everyone needs to be a minister. Okay? A minister of at least one yourself. And if you have any loved ones, you need to be a minister of them as well. And what I mean by minister is being able to share divine wisdom with them as best you can. So I have a reading this morning from Ernest Holmes, and he mentions practitioner. And in particular, this very first sentence is truly important. So here it goes. It is the practitioner's business to uncover God in every man. I want to read that again because it's profound. It is the practitioner's business to uncover God in every man. God is not sick. God is not poor. God is not unhappy. God is never afraid. God is never confused. God is never out of his place. The premise upon which all mental work is based is perfect God, perfect man, perfect being. First, perfect God, then perfect man. There is a spiritual man who is never sick, who is never poor, unhappy, never confused or afraid, who is never caught in negative thought. Browning calls this the spark which a man may desecrate. Sorry. Browning calls, sometimes a word just does that, you know? Browning calls this the spark which man may desecrate, but never quite lose. Ernest Holmes. So let's take that idea that we have a spiritual need to share a divine that we find in everyday life. And let's take that idea and go into our morning prayer. I know that it's here right now. Without any reservations, I know it's here. It's a divine love, a divine compassion, and a beauty of nature, a beauty of one another, a beauty of sharing our wisdom. This beauty is never diminished. It is always whole, perfect, and complete. And it is this energy, this divine love, which I believe is God. And it's everywhere present. It's here within this room this morning. It can never be diminished. It's everywhere, and the wise one learns to see it, to feel its presence even in Walmart. To feel its presence is easy when we're quiet and on the beach, walking in quiet silence. That's easy to feel it. It is much more challenging when our life is not going well to see it, but it is still there. Let us begin to know, really know this divine intelligence on a personal level, on a personal basis, and become friends with it in such a way where it can aid us, guide us, show us its love. And I know that this week we will have many opportunities to remember this divine intelligence, for it's there. And the goal your homework is to see this divine intelligence, even sometimes when it's disguised as unpleasant or hateful, it's still there. And the question is, can you see it? Can you feel it? Can you know that it's there? So I give thanks for this center, for it has done so much for me. And I know it's done so much for every person in this room. I give thanks for this divine intelligence, and it has guided me in such a beautiful way. So I can release this prayer, knowing that it's true, knowing that it's loving, kind, and beautiful, easily and simply by saying, and so it is. Thank you.
I just want to point out, I'm observing a person who practices what they preach. And this beautiful poem that we were given as a gift this morning, he mentions that he was inspired, or it's dedicated to Sam and Lucy. And we couldn't be more honored and more grateful for this kind of love. And what we most want to give to you is inspiration. And thank you so much, Jim, for your beauty expressed every single week. And we also want to thank you guys for all the inspiration that you give us, because a lot of this comes from you directly, a lot of this music. And the truth is, you are me. I am all I see. Thank you so much, Jim. First ride at the star line, heading into deeper space. Touchdown on the green one, the center of a sacred place. Flying in as a diamond, landing on the brighter grass. Gently giant approaching, eyes lock in timelessness. You are me. I am all I see. Knowing ocean eternal, a star is a doorway to truth. Freedom, a drop ripples out, once held back, now bursts through. Weightless and with soft eyes, skin is shed and wings unfold. Laying down the last treasure, I lift off, nothing to hold. You are me. I am all I see. You are me. Light is all I see. I took a long time finding my way. No one to say how hard it would ever be. I never knew we'd be staring through eyes like these. We never lost our way, We never lost our way. You are me. We never lost our way. You are me. We never lost our way. You are me. We never lost our way. Oh, I am home.
Thank you, guys. So my talk today is on prosperity, and I'm going to be talking about it for the next couple of weeks. And what I'm planning to do is to use a couple of different books every week, not use the same book. My little clicker here is not working, David, if you can come over and try to fix that for me. And so for today, I've got, I know you're asked just on the edge of your seat, well, why are you talking about prosperity, Reverend Ken? Well, you know, we've had our landlord tell us that he's going to be raising our rent pretty substantially here. And money is, it's the summertime. People are going away on different trips and stuff. And so, the money is not coming in as well. I could stand up here and moan and groan about, the situation that we're in, but that's not our teaching. Our teaching is that we look to our greater possibilities, that we don't stay focused on the negative. We say, okay, what can we look ahead and where are our possibilities? Where can we see where we're going? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about our possibilities, about how we can see the good, what is out there that we can achieve. And I'm starting off with Reverend Ike. Reverend Ike. He was an African-American minister in the 60s, and he was New Thought. I think his white counterparts didn't really give him appreciation. I think they thought he was too flashy. But reading his material now, I went and got one of his books, and it is perfect for our teaching. He wrote great, good stuff. And he was kind of dismissed. He wasn't really given the credit he deserved. So today we're giving him some credit because he wrote some really good stuff. He did not allow the world to define him. He defined the world. He said, here I am. Now, I agree with Mae West when it comes to prosperity. Mae West said, I've been rich and I've been poor, and rich is better. Yeah, rich is better. Mae West was a huge star. She was very wealthy. When she became extremely wealthy, when she was early in her career, she went out and she started buying land in LA. And so this all increased in value, and she was tremendously wealthy. The other interesting thing about her, she made herself into a star, a sex symbol. And at her time, she looked nothing like the popular culture thought a sex symbol should look like. She came up when the sex symbol was the flapper. A very skinny person, not curvy, short hair. Unfortunately, Mae West was kind of curvy. Nice way of describing people who look like me. You didn't have to laugh so much about that one now. She was very short. So what she did is she piled her hair way on top of her head. She wore long gowns that really were a throwback to the fashion of older people in the previous generation. So she was actually wearing fashion from like people's grandmothers had wore. And to get herself some height, she wore these huge platform shoes, basically stilts. And so when she was walking, it was basically ka-clop, ka-clop, ka-clop. It became the Mae West strut. She took what was a disadvantage and made it into an advantage, and she became a huge sex symbol, and they bought it. They bought it. It's about saying to the world, hey, look, I'm not putting up with what you're telling me. I'm going to show you what I can be. She had all kinds of great lines. She starred with some of the most handsome men of her age. She found Cary Grant, and he starred in one of her movies. W.C. Fields was in another one. She hated him. There's a great line. Some of them are too risque. I can't use them. But there's one good one. The scene is she's going into a nightclub. She's handing a mink stole over to the coat check, and the lady in the coat check says, "Oh my goodness!" And she looks at her. She says, "Honey, goodness had nothing to do with it." So don't take on the world's limitation. Don't take them on. Reverend Ike didn't. He came up in a time when African Americans were not supposed to be in the limelight. But he took it on, and he took the limelight on. He says there's one thing nobody can take from you, and that's the truth about yourself. That's the truth about you. He says you are a child of God, here to experience God manifesting through your hopes and dreams. What does the song say? You can't have a dream come true until you can have a dream. So get a dream, and dream big, and dream many. Don't just have the one dream, have many dreams. And if one doesn't come true, then dream anew. Constantly throw new ideas out to spirit and see what comes back to you. See what shows up in your life. Reverend Ike said, everything is a condition of mind. Ideas come first, and then we have the manifestation. Then we have the reality. He says, you can't be, you can't do, and you can't have anything until you have the idea of it, until you can see it for yourself. So if you want a new car, envision that car. See yourself riding in it. See yourself washing it. See yourself going to have an oil change. See yourself making monthly payments on it. See yourself with your dream and put something big out there. You've got to think well about yourself and think well about your possibilities. We're not here to live in lack and limitation. He said God has ordained perfect good and abundance for every one of us. Every one of us. But we've got to step up. We've got to know that God is loving, that God is generous, and we can experience that in our lives. So open yourself up to your greatest possibilities. And don't just expect it to come through money. We certainly want money, but we also want an abundance of health. We want an abundance of love, abundance of friendship, abundance of good of every kind. And we can only receive what our minds can conceive. We want to establish in our thinking a concept of God as loving, as kind, as giving, that it believes in our having a good and joyful life. And when we put such a faith in a creator, our experiences will reflect such abundance. We won't be able to hold back all the goodness that God will rain down upon us. In Scripture, it says it will be in full measure, shaken down and overflowing. So I want you to drink that idea in. And this summer, some starry night, I want you to go out onto the beach here, and I want you to look out on that ocean and look out on the stars that you can't count, to feel the grains of sand that you can't envision how much of it is. Look out on those waters and imagine all the life that's teeming in that deep blue sea. And think to yourself, that which has created all of this has created me. It has called me by name from stardust, here to live in love and joy, here to demonstrate all the goodness of God has for me. and it's waiting on us. God is waiting on you to know yourself for who you are and whose you are. You're a child of the universe, and you've come here to live well, to live grandly, to live opulently. So cast your net the widest you can into your greatest possibilities, and Spirit will rain down blessings upon you. A couple of months ago, I was listening to a program on NPR, National Public Radio. And they had a request. They said, if you have a story idea, send it in to us. Well, I had a story idea. Yeah, and I sent it in to them. Now, I didn't hear anything back for a week or two, so I thought to myself, well, that's they probably get millions of these ideas, so nothing bad about that. Past week, I got a letter from the president of our national organization, and he's asking for examples of how centers are moving out into the larger community and representing our teaching in the larger community. Well, we've been doing that for the past 10 years here. All our work with the interfaith, all our good with the Venus Manley Scholarship, the Elizabeth Clare program. So I wrote him all of this, and I've sent him photos, and he wrote back, he says, Ken, this is what I want every center in our movement to do. And he says, I'm going to share the stuff y'all are doing with all of our centers and say, this is what we need to do to make an impact. Well, that's wonderful. I opened my email up that exact day. Guess who I heard from? National Public Radio. They love the story. They want me on. I'm going to be on, yeah. NPR, national, yeah. You know, I think back on my childhood when I wanted nothing more than to be invisible so I could escape all the turmoil that was going on in my family. I would have never thought that I would ever have the courage to be on anybody's radio station, let alone a national radio station. I didn't think that, but God knew it about me. And this morning, there may be a big and bright and beautiful idea about yourself that you're not even willing to announce. You don't really even have the faith in yourself to even think it. But God knows it about you, and God is calling you on. God is encouraging you to be that who it knows you to be, that boldly loving person, that dynamically compassionate person. You're here to bring great good, and you can't outdo God. God is going to show up in ways that you can't even imagine. Spirit can know something wonderful about you that you can't even know about yourself. Reverend Ike said, Spirit in me is generous in all things. I have abundance of health, which overflows and becomes a healing to everybody around me. When we know and have the goodness of God flowing through us, we become a blessing, not just to ourselves, but for all those around you. People look to you. You may not know that, but particularly in these challenging times, people are looking to you. So when you know yourself for who you are, that gives encouragement to everyone around you. He said, I have abundance of health, a healing power in me that helps everyone. So he says, I have that this good in me is helping those around me. I have abundance of happiness which flows out from me and lifts up everyone. I have an abundance of love. My life is a romance because wherever I am, I'm attracting the good I desire. I am in love with life. Let's become in love with our lives. Let's have a romance with Spirit, knowing that it's attracting to us every great good. I have love, I have abundance, I have self-success, I have prosperity. The goodness of God within me is leading me from glory to glory. Through the presence of God, I experience of cup runneth over with blessings. And this is what we're here to do. This is what we're here to be. We're here to know that we're not weak. We're not wounded. We're not don't have to live in lack and limitation. We don't have to accept what the world is telling us about ourselves. We can stand up and speak out to the world that we are powerful. We are loving. We're compassionate. We're kind. We're here to make a difference. And we got the power of God standing before us, urging us on, calling us out to be the best we can be. You can do it. God has faith in you, and now's your time to go be the miracle God is calling you to be. It's the truth. It's the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Walking along with your head in the clouds, headphones turned up way too loud. It's the kind of day you're just rolling along, looking for a vibe in your favorite song, with the radio on and the radio up. You know we're singing loud cause we never give up. I've been feeling something calling me from way inside, so I paused, turned my gaze to the sky.
Walking along with my head to the ground, somewhere to be, no time to look around. People yelling, trucks roaring, overwhelmed with sound. Plugging in my headphones just to dim it down, with the radio on and the radio up. You know we're singing loud cause we never give up. I've been living in the fast lane for way too long. Time to slow it down, might be time to move on. Cause I know there's so much more to life than this. Remembering to give thanks each day we're blessed. And how can you make extraordinary things from an ordinary day? Staring at the sun, time has just begun. Arms as open as the sky. Maybe now it's time to fly from this ordinary day. Try it with us. Walking along with your head in the clouds, cause I know there's so much more to life than this. Remembering to give thanks each day we're blessed. And how can you make extraordinary things from an ordinary day? Staring at the sun, time has just begun. Arms as open as the sky. Maybe now it's time to fly. Staring at the sun, time has just begun.
from this ordinary day. Oh, 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 oh.
Thank you, guys. So now we come to the time where we support our center, and we can do that in several different ways. One way we can do it is through consciousness, through prayer work, by seeing this center relive and rebreathe into the place that it once was, where there was 150 people in here, where we had a full choir, where we had a kids program. So do your prayer work, seeing us growing and thriving, being that beacon of hope and light and inspiration. You can also do volunteer work. We always have volunteers. We need some people in hospitality, so if you'd like, that's something that calls to you. You can see Linda Simpson. Linda, raise your hand over there, please. You can check out that with her. And of course, money is always good. My teacher, Kennedy Schultz, he said he loved so money that he would get out and iron it and put it back in his wallet. That's how much he wanted to appreciate it. So nothing wrong with money. I always liked what Reverend Ike said about the collection. They'd have big baskets go around, and he said, now this we're nowhere close to Christmas time, so I don't want to hear any jingling, jangling in there. You know, nice silent paper money. But however you choose to support us, know we're grateful for it, and know your support is helping us bring a light of joy and love to the world. So take your offering and place it over your heart and read with me this affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. And thank you for your contributions. There is a box there on the table if you'd like to make a donation. All right, Sam and Lucy.
We are children, children of the sun. We are gathering as one. We start listening to what she's got to say. Oh, our mother, she will guide the way. When it's all said and done, we will find together we're all children of the sun. When we see that all we are is love, together we can build the world we're dreaming of. And all those places that we've known, now we're finally coming home. When it's all said and done, we will find together we're all children of the sun. La da da la da 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 la da 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 la da 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 da. La da, la da da da, la da da da, la da da da, la da da da, la da, la da da da, la da da da, la da da da, la da da da, la da, la da da da, la da da da, la da da da, la da da da, la da. When together.
When it's all said and done,
We will find the truth that we're all children of the sun. Children of the sun. Children of the sun.
Thanks, Sam and Lucy. So we'll end our service with a final affirmation or prayer, affirmative prayer. I'm going to do it in the first person. Take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, just let that part slide by. But just know this truth with me this morning. There is but one God and one mind and one power. That power is perfect love. That power is divine intelligence. And that power has created me from itself through an idea of me. The highest concept of me, it came. And when it had the idea of me, the idea was perfect, glorious, and wonderful. We are children of the Son, and we are here to experience God's blessings raining down upon us. There's nothing too hard for God, and there's nothing too good for us. So this morning in this sacred place, I now know a truth about myself, that I am here to live in prosperity, a prosperity of health, of love, of joy, of laughter, of friendship, a prosperity of seeing the world at peace. Now's the time for us to live in sisterhood and brotherhood. Now's the time where we beat back the weapons of war and to plow the fields. Now's the time for us to know that we can have Spirit's love raining down upon us when we step up and step out and be who we are and whose we are, when we know ourselves as God knows us, not as weak and wounded, but powerful, bold and dynamic. We're here to see Spirit raining down blessings upon us. And this morning I'm saying yes, yes to it all. Every cell of my being says yes to the greatest goodness God has for me. So I leave this place inspired. I leave this place encouraged. I leave this place that knowing that Spirit is with me, guiding every step of my way, that I have a friendship in God, and I am not turned back. I am moving forward. It's my truth. Every cell of my being radiates this right knowing, and I release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, my dear friends, I'm going to leave you with one last thought, and that is your life. Your life, it's not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is to go name your miracle, proclaim your miracle, and make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle God is calling us to be. This is Reverend Ken with Sam and Lucy wishing you many blessings until we see each other again.
Wow! I feel good. I knew that I would now. I feel good. I knew that I would now. So good, so good, I got you. Well, I feel nice. Oh,
oh,
yeah.
I feel nice.
Like sugar and spice.
Oh, I feel so, so nice.
I feel nice.
So nice.
Like sugar and spice.
Sugar and spice.
So nice, so nice, I got you. Lucy! Oh, when I hold you in my arms, love can't do me no harm. Oh, when I hold you in my arms,
Oh, yeah.
can't do me no harm, 'cause I feel good.
I feel good.
I knew that I would now.
Oh yeah, I knew that I would.
I feel good.
I feel good. Knew that I would
now.
So good. So good. So good. So good. So good.
Yeah, I got a you.
Yeah. Thank you guys. We love you. Feel the goodness of each other right here, right now. It is on.
How are you?